When it comes to managers, we've all had difficult managers and we've all had demanding managers. But what defines a demanding manager from a toxic one is a demanding manager is going to have expectations that are big, maybe bold, but they're realistic. A toxic manager is going to provide expectations that he or she knows are unattainable. And you know what the coping mechanism for unrealistic expectations is?
What's that?
To not care. The only way we as human beings deal with unrealistic expectations, which we know are created so that we can't achieve them, is to not care. And we all know those employees who don't come to that conclusion and just chase this dragon into the woods, and they just have a miserable life in and outside of the workplace. So for managers, we look at realistic expectations. For general employees, we take a look at when their behavior and performance becomes motive-driven beyond the job responsibilities of the position. And finally, and I think we all know this, that quite often toxic employees are also emboldened by people in power. Think of the CEO's nephew, the senior executive's golfing buddy, or worse yet, the employee who had an inappropriate relationship or currently does have an inappropriate relationship with someone of influence. So it's bad when you're with a toxic employee. It's really not good if you have a toxic manager. But when they're connected to people in power, they're just unapproachable and run free and create, sustain, and expand the toxicity in the whole culture. One person, we've all seen this, one CEO, one executive, even one employee who is truly toxic can have a tremendous impact on the culture of any organization.
Yeah, I'm afraid a lot of people have experienced it, but somehow, it's real easy to have your own insecurities say, well, maybe it's just me, maybe I need to do X or I need to do Y. And it takes some time for people to wake up and say, no, this is just plain wrong. And they're not privileged to do this. It's just not right. It's not fair. You mentioned something earlier about looking for toxicity in the hiring process, because it seems like that would be your ideal weeding out spot. What kind of things do you look for that would make you say, okay, yeah, on paper, this person has terrific experience, great credentials, but then in the interview process, something just is off? What are those things that you would be looking for in an interview process that would suggest that maybe this person could be toxic?
I have several clients. We have a service where I'll do final interview vetting. And I just come in at the very end and just spend some time currently with the situation now on Zoom interviews. And I just come in as a person to look at the person. I'm not immersed in these organizations that I support as clients. I don't know them in and out and up and down, and that's a good thing because I'm not carrying in my filters and the organizational biases that come with being entrenched in an organization. I'm just looking at the person. My goal is what Maya Angelou told us, when someone shows themselves, believe them. Anybody can interview. Anybody can get through a 30, 60-minute interview. My job is to get them into their most comfortable self. Try to get them to reveal themselves beyond simple interview questions. Most people, when they do interviews, they ask